Hey there, and welcome to the 1-6 inverse functions. Inverse functions I'm sure you've seen before in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. We've also talked about in previous sections where graphically inverse functions are inverses if they reflect over the equation y equals x. So if you have that equation and you have two graphs, you can tell if they are inverses if they reflect over that line. An inverse function can be found by exchanging the x and y values of a function of x, and an inverse function is denoted as f to the negative 1. So from here on out, if you see an f to the power of negative 1, maybe we'll get an f here, then that means you're going to have an inverse function. Okay, whenever you want to find an inverse informally, what you have to do is, if you look at just like a basic simple function, for example 1 here, you have f of x equals 8x. Well, in order to find the inverse, if you want to find it informally, then what you do is, the way to get rid of this 8 times x is just to divide both sides by, or just to divide by x. So if you want to find the actual, actually don't divide by x, divide by 8. If you want to find the inverse of this function, then your inverse is just going to be f to the negative 1, make sure you denote it correctly, of x, and that is going to be equal to x over 8. So in order to find an inverse function informally, you're just doing the inverse function here. So if we look at example 2, well, in order to get to x by itself, you're going to have to add 1, and then you would also have to divide by 4, everything by 4. So basically, in order to find your inverse function for 2, you're just going to have f to the negative 1 of x, and that is going to be equal to x plus 1 all divided by 4. So basically, you're just looking at the operations for each function and you're performing that to x. And that's how you find inverse functions informally.